everyone. Just continuing on with our consumer math unit. Today we're going to talk about percent of change. Again, basically the same setup that we've been doing with the proportion. There is one difference in the actual, not the setup of it, but how you get part of your numbers for it. So you're still going to use the proportion where you do the percent over the 100 and the original number on the bottom. Now, there is the difference here, and it's at the top. So where you see this, instead of being like tax or tip or discount, it says difference. And the way that you find the difference is you subtract. Okay, so that means they're going to give you two numbers, a beginning number and an ending number. You're going to have to subtract the two numbers in order to find out what number you need to put in that spot. The original number is what occurred first. Okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. All right, so the first part, the percent will always be missing in these problems. That means you're going to be looking for the percent. All right, you are going to subtract the first number and the second number. You should not have any negatives, and that means that it's no matter what order the numbers come in, you're always going to take your larger number and subtract your smaller number from that. The first number, which we just talked about, is always the original number. So whatever happens first in the problem is the original number. Cross multiply and divide, and then you're going to decide, is this a percent of increase or is it a percent of decrease? So did the number go from a bigger number to a smaller number or a smaller number to a bigger number? So that's really super easy to do. All right, so let's go down here. Now these are very basic, and then you're also going to have some word problems with these. So we're going to talk about the basic ones to just kind of understand how this setup works. So for the first one, we started at $40 and we went down to $30. So we're still going to set up our proportion. We're still going to have that 100. Now because we don't have a percent, our X is going to go over the 100. What happened first is I had $40. That goes here. And then I went down to $30. That's a difference of $10. That's the number that goes there. So if I subtract the two, not negative 10. We don't want to do negative 10. All right? So this will always be a positive number no matter what. Then our process is exactly the same. We're going to cross multiply, divide by our coefficient, and we're going to get that X equals 25. Now this is a percent, so we need to label it with percent. Now how do you determine if it's a percent of increase or a percent of decrease? Well, I started at 40 and I went to 30, so I went down in my money, so that is a percent of decrease. Okay? For my next one, I'm going from 50 up to 60. So I'm going to set up my proportion just like I have been. My percent is missing. I don't have a percent in this problem. Originally I had $50. Now I have 60. That's a difference of $10. I'm now $10 on the plus side here. So I'm going to cross multiply. 50x equals 1,000. Divide by 50. And X equals 20%. Now, is it a percent of increase or a percent of decrease? Well, I went from $50 up to $60, so that is a percent of increase. Okay? All right, next one. 11.5 to 8. I'm going to put in my 100. I know my percent is missing. Originally, it was 11.5. And then I went down to 8. So I need to subtract those two. That's going to give me 3.5. Okay? Cross multiply. 11.5x equals 350. Divide by 11.5. Now, if this does not divide evenly, and we'll do this on the calculator just to show you. Let's turn this one on. If this does not divide evenly, we need to do some rounding to the nearest tenth. That was in the directions up top. So I'm going to take 350 and I'm going to divide by 11.5. That's 30.43478261. I don't want to write all of that. I want to round to the nearest tenth, one decimal place. This 3 is not big enough to round up that 4. It has to be 5 or greater. So we're going to do 30.4%. So x equals 30.4%. Is it an increase or a decrease? Well, I went from 11.5 down to 8, so that is a percent of decrease. Okay. All right, last one in this type of problem. So we're going to set up our proportion again, put in our 100. I don't have a percent. That's what I'm looking for. Originally, I had 60, and I went to 80. That's an increase of 20, so that's what goes here. Okay. And I did forget to write this 3.5 up here. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so let's finish this one out. We're going to cross multiply. 60x equals 2,000. Divide by 60. And x equals 33.3%. Again, we can put that in the calculator. We just did a little bit of rounding here. So if I did 2,000 divided by 60, you're going to see I got 33.3 repeating. I'm rounding to the nearest tenth. This 3 is not enough to round that 3 up, so we're going to leave it at a 3. Is it an increase or a decrease? I went from 60 up to 80, so it would be a percent of increase. Okay. All right, so our last part on the front is this. I'm going to leave those two problems up just in case. Is this word problem. Ashley attended a meeting last year in which 40 people attended. So last year, 40 people attended. Let's get a different color for this. This year, the meeting had 60 people. So this year, the meeting had 60 people. What is the percent of increase, and round to the nearest tenth if necessary? All right. So let's set up our proportion. Put in our 100. We're looking for the percent. Originally, last year, she had 40 people. And now this year, she went up to 60 people. So that's an increase of 20 people. Okay? So then we're going to cross multiply. 40x equals 2,000. We're going to divide by 40. And x equals 50%. Okay, so you have to be really careful with these in that you don't, what I call number plot. Don't search out the numbers, just throw them into the proportion. You have to think, where do these numbers go, and do I use the numbers, or do I have to do a subtraction to get part of my proportion set up? All right, we've got a couple more on the back. I'm going to give you a few minutes to give these a try. Try these on your own. So go ahead and pause the video. Take a few minutes to work through those, see how you do, and then we will check them together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see how you did. So on the first one, we're going to set up our proportion, put in our 100. Originally, we were 99 pounds, and we lost some weight, went down to 87 pounds. So we're going to put our X here because we're looking for our percent. Originally, weighed 99 pounds, went down to 87. That's a difference of 12 pounds. Okay? Cross multiply, 99x equals 1,200. Divide by 99. And x equals about a 12.1% decrease because the weight went down. Okay, round to the nearest tenth if you have to. You don't always have to. Here we're going to set up our proportion with our x over 100. Originally we had 60. We went up to 77, so we increased by 17. Cross multiply. Divide by 60. And x is a 28.3% increase. Okay, hopefully you did okay on those two. We've got one more to check and see how you do on this one. All right, so for this last one, John got a job last year at Ferguson Enterprises, earning $42,000 per year. This year he got a raise and is now earning $45,000 per year. What percent raise did he receive? Okay, so let me do a little bit of highlighting here. His original earning was $42,000, and now he is earning $45,000. Okay, so last year was 42, this year is 45. So let's do our 100 and our X. Originally he earned $42,000 per year. He increased from 42 to 45,000, excuse me, by $3,000. Let's cross multiply. 42,000 X equals 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros on that one. We're going to divide by our coefficient, and I'm grateful we have calculators for this because this would not be some fun long division. And X equals about 7.1% increase or raise. You got a raise of 7.1%. Okay, so that is our answer for that word problem. That is all that I have for you today. We are going to take a second day on percent of change, so if it's still a little confusing to you, don't worry. We're going to do this again tomorrow, so hopefully you guys will catch on. If you have any questions, please feel free to join me during office hours. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.